And I think they would like inquire. If he watches them shoot, he will at some point inquire. Is it true that you won the caber toss? And tell us about that, because that was pretty great.
Well, he'll tell the story, though he's very modest about it, saying that he was given strength by the warrior, as he used to be. He used to be a fighting man, but lost his eye. Can't really fight that well anymore. So into smithing, secondary handwork then, but he always enjoyed it, and now he gets to do it every day. That's pretty great. The warrior was good enough to him to grant him a little bit of a sunlight, a ray of his past there in that caber toss. So he attributes the light of the seven. Thanks them for their kind embrace and their little gift there.
Cool. Yeah, my Ivan is. Certainly, he, as a young man and archer, he's definitely revering the warrior as well. And we think that
nowadays it's the smith, though.
Yes, of course.
So fittingly,
mm-hmm.
his work and the things he has in the shop are very, very, very well made.
Does he have
very nice weapons? And you shouldn't
Does he have blunted arrows, so they wouldn't really hurt?
Not unstuck,
uh-huh.
But if you were to ask him, he could probably blunt some arrows.
Sure.
All right, sure.
Ren gives a slightly amused look to Kyvan.
I mean, they're still tipped, so they will probably hurt someone like a bitch, but they won't puncture you.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like this bow is made to not hurt people. So.
No, it's made to hurt.
Like a very soft bow, kind of poof, punch.
Friendly bow.
He shoots Nerf arrows.
There will be some
this amazing game.
Bow
tag.
Some joke or maybe even some training during the late afternoon, when Kyvan and Ren would be training. Ren trying to dodge and weave out of the arrows, and Kyvan actually trying to hit him.
As long as he's wearing a chainmail or something while doing it, so that he doesn't get actually hurt.
That would be the idea. Yes.
Yeah. All right. How is Bree preparing?
How is Bree preparing? I am so glad that no one well, Bree is not so secretly delighted. She now has a perfect reason to discard all the dresses and not wear them for, gosh, who knows how long they're going to be in the Red Mountains. She is excited as she visits her secret stashes and scrolls away some gold dragons and takes a few others with her coins that she likes because they're prettier, and capture the sun rays appropriately. Because there might be someone who appreciates money in there, and she knows how terrible Alaric is with money. He has a bad track record. From buying his armor to incurring a debt with the Lannisters, which then became the Iron Bank. And there's a bastard and 2 Dornishmen, so they don't have any money. So she has to be the responsible one of this trip, and she is incredibly delighted. She sees herself as the most important person, and really, I mean, that's true, right? I mean, Alaric, landed, he's not even landed right now. And, he's getting old. And there's a bastard, 2 Dornishmen. She's the ranking official. She's the heir of the House Caladan currently, until the kid's born, unless the kid's a good daughter. She doesn't know how that's going to work. So she is preparing all of the tunics and breeches that she could ever want. She has been in the Red Mountains a few times, and she has had Galt do some work on her armor to try and, I suppose the modern term would be ventilate it, but that's not really a thing that exists here. Just to maybe wear a hat type thing, around her head, or a bandana or some kind to try and shield her from the sun. Considering how much experience she's had in there from the years that she was kidnapped, she, even though she's not good at survival, knows about surviving there specifically.
At least what kind of clothes the people there wore, which is mostly. Yeah, like light-colored cloth that they sort of wrap around and keep very long and covering without being restricted. Because you're going to have to climb a lot, and like have clothes that don't easily get like stuck on rocks and stuff, because then they strangle you, or you get hung somewhere, or you get stuck and then you're dead. If you're also like walking during daylight, like it doesn't really matter what you have wearing. If you're like in the high hours of the day, then you're dead.
Yes. And she figures that the Dornishmen may know that. That's why they're coming along, so they could probably advise the big bastard, who she's heard is clumsy from stories from the servants, and Alaric, well, they're like two peas in this massive pod. Yes. And that's what she's preparing with a smile on her lip. She's going to go in there, get some vengeance, beat up some people, haunt Alaric some more, and come home a victor.
It's like a holiday.
Yeah. I mean, she's been languishing around here, and like Hathel, someone became like a lord of the marshes, and so many important and influential people coming and going, and she hasn't been able to be herself around them. Despite her anger, she recognizes that there's a great deal of people more powerful than her. Not physically, but status-wise. And she's all right with spending a bunch of time with people who aren't more powerful than her. Like when she likes to loiter around the guards when they're doing their stuff.
Yeah, Sir Alaric might have the command for this mission, so to speak, but Bree, sort of status-wise, I mean, it's a little Effie who's the higher on the chain there. She's no longer the heir, really, because Rosette is clearly with child.
Yes.
But she's kind of the spare, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe Decim is, or no one really wants to ask the question, because it seems kind of rude to Rosette especially, and to Lena's.
Right. Asking who the spare is implies that something will happen to the heir.
Yeah.
And,
so nobody really knows, and really nobody really thought about it too much. Alaric, of course, though, is like, well, was at least supposed to be the commander of the marshes. Now maybe Lord Tarley will get that job, because that's kind of what he's always done. Maybe also that will spare his ego a bit.
Yeah. Yes, Bree is also wondering about that salacious, like those gossip bits too, and she doesn't have anyone to talk to right now. It's like, ooh, Alaric, commander of the armies of the Lord of the Marshes, being sent on like a hunting mission into the Red Mountains. I mean, sure, it could be for Manfur, or it could be an insult. He's getting old and slow.
Yes. Then, if an old and slow man is sent in there, it's a death sentence. It is very much a you don't just walk into the Dornish Mountains kind of situation on it.
That's the real reason she has to go.
Yeah.
She might
it is kind of like being asked to go beyond the wall or something like that, though Bree probably doesn't even know what that would mean.
The wall?
Really. Like, she could be like,
tales.
yes,
like
North, that's like, people say it's that big, but a wall can't be that big.
No.
And people say that giants once lived, and
the land is covered in snow and ice.
Yeah, it's unrealistic.
Giants. Sorcery.
Grass that's not yellow half the year.
Who does magic? Anyway, she's pretty excited about going.
Yeah. How do the Dornishmen feel about this mission, going into fight bandits, but this time probably not just skirting around, but actually going to the heart of this, being 5 against, well, at least a couple of thousands.
Well, Khyven would look upon this fairly naively. He certainly has sort of that mindset. He is very eager and very honest sort of guy, and he certainly wants to prove himself very much. And that's how he sees this. If he pulls this off, who knows? Like he might even become knighted for it or something like that. That would be amazing for him. You know, fulfill a boyhood dream and all that, and he gets to fight alongside such renowned and astute knights as Sir Alaric the Giant, and he might be able to see the fabled demon as well, which he's not really sure what that's about. But
sounds a little unrealistic.
Yeah, it sounds a bit.
I mean,
you know,
she's what, like
realistic.
13 at this point?
Yeah, I
Don't
mean,
even
she
know.
looks
She's
strong and all,
definitely
but
still 12.
Yeah. It's hard to tell how old she is.
she looks like she's been in a few scrapes and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe she has a
No.
maybe she has a bow or
Horrible
a sword.
scarring, you mean?
Yeah, like maybe she has a sword or a bow or something she fights with, but barehanded. No, it's just crazy.
Ren, meanwhile, thinks his brother's completely naive.
Yeah.
Ren is, though he tries not to show it, and he's certainly not quite as honest outwardly as his brother Kyvan is. This is a dangerous situation. Ren is more than aware of this. He's gone out and fought bandits before, but never in this quantity. There's been skirmishes, and even then he's not particularly fond of having to draw his blade and go into them. But, well, this is the mission, and it is a good one. There is a good purpose to it, and there is the enticing idea, same as his brother had, of, well, getting some renown from this. It might be this might be a way to get a bit more than just being, not even technically sworn swords of a house, but just glorified soldiers. Need a bit more for the level of skill they've shown off and the amount of dedication they've had. At least in his mind.
How does Alaric feel? Being sent off like this?
He's very mixed. He's got very mixed opinions about it. In one hand, it's great he gets to go and, in a sense, go on his last adventure. Go get revenge for Manfur and, like, almost dying at the Free Bears. But on the other hand, he's getting old, and he wouldn't have particularly minded staying home and just being the commander of the marches, and it's very much a case of either way he wins. Just hopefully neither way he dies.
Has Alaric heard back from, has he heard about Evren and how his life is going in these past 2 months?
He did send a letter, I don't know.
If he has, it has been very scant. Evren is allegedly working with the Master of Horse in Highgarden. Not fighting anymore, but he seems excited, at least from what he's hearing, about the prospect.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Master of Horse and Highguard.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
It's where
Thanks, Ashra.
Knew Ashra
sent
would
him to.
do well. Yeah.
On that, of course, thinking of Ashra, Alaric can almost hear him say, "Alaric, to not go. This is not important enough. Why would you ever do this? The world is, almost every place is nicer than this. And the women there are all gonna be Dornish. And all gonna be horribly sunburned and, have spears. And it seems like a horrible place. What is there to conquer or fight for in there? Let them have it. Fight them when they come out, you would say.
Yeah. Alaric tends to share that opinion, but, he likes the idea of going in there and bringing the fight to them as well.
Would Alaric have possibly refused if Manfur had not been killed by the vultures? Or Halen, since Halen also died to the vultures, right?
Alaric's not too bothered about Halen being supposedly killed by the vultures. He didn't
Linus is
particularly like
next.
the guy anyway. Yeah, Linus is apparently next. I don't know if he would outright refuse, but he'd definitely put up a fight about it. He would argue not to go, but then, because
Well, perhaps seen a bit of an insult to Lord Karen at this point.
in a sense, yeah. But yeah, if Manford didn't die at the Three Pairs, then he might not have. Yeah, he might have tried to get out of it in a sense.
So you're gonna need me, my lord, with the armies. You're now Lord of the Marshes. You can't have to.
I've trained so hard. I'm a commander.
I have to oversee the new hamlet that's gathering around the castle.
Exactly.
My manor house, my lord. I can't.
Like a house to fucking make sure it's built properly. You know Ashra's gonna be angry if his room is just horrible, right?
So you don't want to upset a Tyrell, right?
No, Asher's gonna have a room.
Oh yeah. Alaric's basically gone. All right.
Permanently.
So there's a main room, like a master bedroom, and then there's like 3 or 4 guest rooms. One of them is permanently Ashra's. That's the thing.
Now, how opulent is Ashra's bedroom compared to the master bedroom, or is Ashra's bedroom the master bedroom?
How many people can fit? I think is the.
Just shy of a dozen, I think.
Does he have his own entrance and exit?
Yeah.
Thick walls.
A secret entrance.
Thick walls for the 2 bedrooms, like Ashra's and Alaric's. They're all very thick walled.
I love the idea of, like, Lord Swan being like, "Oh yeah, I'll pay for dowry or whatever," and he gets the bill, and he's like,
I didn't. What the fuck? Why'd you need 2 walls?
I heard your reputation, but a dozen people in a secondary bedroom, sir.
It's not for me. It's for the Tyrell.
"What are you and my daughter gonna?" No, never mind. I don't want to know.
Cheery. Just like Lord Trent. Yeah. All right. Well, the morrow comes, as it does, and you can all gather to leave. You can probably ride this way, and then have some people ride with you who will take your horses back. The thought being that you don't really bring horses into the Red Mountains unless they're to be eaten within a few days. Because there's generally not enough shadow that they can be in because they're pretty big. And that means that they generally get horribly sunburned and die.
They would have to consume so much water just pouring it all over their bodies.
Yeah. So generally, if you take them, it would be to ride them until they die, and then to eat them, and then that's that.
Hugo would be a great meal.
He would.
Yeah.
Yep.
He needs a lot of water. He's a big guy.
He also has a lot of water in him.
That's the real concern too. He might have a lot of endurance, but he just fucking also drink all of our water.
You would. Totally would.
Rip water.
Well, in that case...
Doesn't really have a horse, though. In my cart, so... Just, sit in a cart.
Kevin is certainly dressed for the mountains. All light clothing, all very flowy for him to move freely and for a lot of air and stuff to flow through him. Keep him in cool. Head, wrapped up in cloth and scarves. Even has a sort of a veil he can put before his face in case of sandstorms and whatnot. And there is also padding and stuff. You can see hints of a very light leather armor, patches.
He looks kind of like this, perhaps.
Yeah, that's basically what it looks like.
I'm triggered.
The veil is not up. The veil is down. It's just hanging by the side, so you fully see his face. Not veiled for combat yet.
Ren is certainly dressed in a somewhat similar manner. Though seeing through, he's less armored than Kevin would be. Underneath, with just having the various light clothing kind of reinforced by just minor padding, essentially. Very little in the way of protection there. Also not having any kind of veil or hood up right now. There's no reason for that. But overall, very similar to Kevin's, except possibly a little bit on the lighter side. Ren not wanting really anything weighing him down more than his bag already is.
Yeah. And then sort of looking over to Sir Alaric in full plate.
That's what I was wondering. How would these two trained, like, we're gonna lead you into the Red Mountains, Dornishman. We fought along House Karen. Like, how would they react when they look at, like, Alaric and Varen?
They would.
Baron has his long axe, his tower shield on his back, his thick like scale mail, covering him in the double layers with the under surcoat as well.
We exchange a look first.
Battle dressed basically.
Yeah.
He kind of looks to Kevin.
Looks back.
What does Alaric look like?
Alaric looks pretty much like in the handout when you scroll over his token. Full armor, light, a light tunic with like the Caladan insignia, like embroidered in the corners or something like that, and his own embroidered in places, and he looks like typical Alaric. Just with lighter cloths than normal. He usually wears darker cloth.
So basically, both of these people have a layer basically of like clothes, of padding, of leather, then of metal. One, of course, being bigger than the other one. But yeah, they'll be able to keep themselves warm in the north. This kind of garb.
Looks over again.
You look fearsome though.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
we kind of, you definitely look fearsome, but we're going to look at each other like, have they ever traveled in the desert?
I'm not from Dorne.
How are we gonna carry them into the shade?
How am I supposed to tell him that?
Hey, looks like Gogor will arrive before we are actually setting off, and so he's not.
What?
Hooray! Yeah.
Hello.
You know what?
Hello.
You missed my nice, wonderfully written intro.
It was
It was
beautiful.
the intro.
But you know what? I'll just send you the script, Gogor. I'll send you the script, and you can read it. I've wrote it all down.
It was beautiful.
You should
It
listen
was-
to the dramatic reading.
It was so beautiful. I wondered like 30% of the way through. Malachi, he doesn't know that Gogur's
He doesn't-
not here.
Yes, I know. I did that as
Oh,
well.
it was so sad.
I'm scared now.
Well, Kevin will
DM.
look over.
And it was the beautiful capstone there of like, and now we can like begin playing. Jonas
Yeah.
Ubi, like Deso, Dark Ubi, Lanus, and I'm like, it's gonna be very.
I was. I hope I did him some justice. If not, maybe he'll just change his personality completely now. So
Yeah.
I was so drunk last night.
Oh,
now that
fuck.
his son is
Wasted.
secure. Yeah.
Multiple personality disorder.
Kevin will take a few like steps forward, like looking over Baron and Alaric, and be like, so Alaric, I sort of frowns. We're going into the mountains.
Do you understand the heat?
Yes, I walked, in fact rode, down the Boneway in this.
Kevin blinks.
Fred kind of looks to Kevin like,
Excuse me, sir.
I fought in this plate, in the Boneway, in fact.
Well,
From beneath her head wrap, Bree says, "Not the Red Adder, too."
Fought the Red Adder, bastard used poisons, still killed him. Well, Bree did. Crushed
was
his
before
skull.
that. No, actually in the Red Mountains. We fought him there.
Yeah, we fought him in the Red Mountains, beat him quite handily without his poisons on his damn blade.
Fred kind of leans over. Who's the Red Adder?
Kevin shrugs, looks between Bree and Alaric and says, well, I am sure you know best, sir. Might I at least suggest you bring a bit more cloaks? If you will wear that armor in the mountains, it will reflect a lot of light, and it will be quite visible from very long way away.
They don't make anything his size.
Alaric
Oh.
shakes, kind of like in agreement with Bree, and like a kind of, yeah, sadly not, kind of shake.
This is going to be difficult.
And frowns slightly. I see. Maybe there's a sack somewhere. Sort of mumbles to himself, looking around.
You wouldn't have the prestigious knight, anointed knight of House Caladan, hide his colors, would you?
Of course not, my Lady Caladan.
He blushes. No, of course not.
He,
my lady.
he can be a beacon to stride into the Red Mountains for all of the vultures to look upon. With like the unspoken thing being that they'll then shoot him. Like, what's
It is true that a Knight of the Vale who hides his colors is a coward.
Oh, yeah.
A Knight of the Reach, even.
Looks over to Ren, like it was sort of a helpless look on his face. Like,
Ren breaks his facade of emotion just to let out a sigh. Well, Milord Knight knows his best.
Yes, I am. I'm looking forward to seeing the your glory and marching into the mountains, my lord. He bows.
We have heard many stories. Look, see if Kevin bowing bows.
Of his glory.
Alaric like moves closer and like puts a hand on either of their like shoulders, like the outside shoulders, and then kind of like leans closer and says, "It's a good thing that we can make clothes bigger enough to cover my shiny armor." He kind of smirks. And if we are indeed going on a sort of covert mission, then shining looks over to Bree. Like a beacon is a surefire way to get me killed. Would you not agree?
Bree nods her head slowly and says, "You've seen how effective and their marksmen can be, Sir Cousin."
Alaric nods and backs away and says, Good thing that we sorted out something to hide." Well, kind of looks to Varen and back to himself. These shiny examples of men.
It could just cover it with a bunch of dust from the Red Mountains that will stop it from shining as much.
Alaric nods.
Or paint the collars on the sack. He mumbles very quietly.
Ren shoots a keen look of just really mutter that.
Caladan colors in a sack?
And then
I
like
know that's what
and then like an elbow in the side of him to him, like oof.
House Caladan brand sacks.
Be a bestseller, trust me.
Yeah.
Trusty Decim's trusty sacks.
The knapsacks, yeah. Everyone's gotta have one. Oh, goodness. Well,
Have you ventured before to the Red Mountains, Sir, my Lord Varen?
No, I have not. I've spent most of my life in over in the Free Cities, or in the Mirror, I should say.
The Free Cities?
Yes. Also some time in Marine, in the fighting pits.
looks over to Ren, like shrugs. He doesn't know what Marine is or what that is.
Frowns a little bit, though there is a clear look of him deeply trying to think. What?
They're very uncultured, these Stonishmen.
Hey, we're not lords.
Yeah.
We don't have these fancy schoolings.
Yeah. It's true.
Well, neither does Baron, so,
He's been there. He knows it's a place.
Yeah. Bodily, so to speak. At least you're used to the heat, then, right? Baron.
Yes, I should think so. Although I have not spent that much time out in the wilderness, I've spent most of my time in the cities. Although I have traveled a bit.
Right. Well, the mountains are quite dangerous. There's going to be a bit of climbing, a bit of...
The ground can be unsteady. There'll be some snakes.
Once we get into the mountains themselves, we would do well to try to find water sources. I would suggest perhaps setting up some sort of patrol network or whatnot. But
Sir Alaric has led an entire army through the Dornish mountains and back.
That's quite a feat. Would like to hear it someday.
Bree's smile only widens at Alaric.
Kyvan sort of clears his throat a little bit. Well, should we be off? He sort of moves a little bit towards his horse.
Ren as well will move towards his steed. Not a glorious one, but it's a steed.
No, Kyvan's a horse. That's basically it.
Mm-hmm.
So in this conversation, Bree placed 2 bombs at Alaric's feet.
I could have added a feat, more like defeat, but I didn't because I don't want to lose my head.
Good character, Jones.
Yeah.
You will also see like a peculiar-looking green jar sticking out of Varen's backpack.
What?
A green jar.
Yes.
What? Is that wildfire?
No.
I'm not going to be anywhere close to.
I just carry around 20 vials of wildfire.
It has like maybe 20 or 30 round objects in them. You can't really see what they are, but.
The tiny pellet of wildfire.
Pickled onions.
Yes, pickled onions, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Can't live without them.
No.
Order from a alchemist.
I wouldn't recommend eating those.
We used them as bombs by biological warfare.
They wouldn't explode.
That's at least what you say.